Hey guys, my name is Ryan and welcome to Overwatch Central. So at the end of last week we had the pre-season of the Overwatch League. These were basically show matches to show off the teams, the rosters, and basically show a lot of people how the Overwatch League was going to look and how it was going to work. It was almost like a rehearsal run for both the players and all of the people involved in it, and I must say it was great to watch. There were some really interesting games and just the production value of it all. We did a video a while ago going over the APAC, the China tournament that happened way back when, which involved a lot of Mercy. And we also went over some of the meta and strategy things that we saw in that tournament. And we wanted to do something similar today. We haven't really seen proper esports in a while, so I thought I'd highlight 3 major areas that I found quite interesting to note from the Overwatch League, which will no doubt find its way into our own competitive ladder soon enough. That's why we make these videos, because whatever the pros do, the highest tiers tend to copy or do themselves, and then it's a trickle-down mechanic. So knowing what the pros are doing and how they're playing it will help you greatly if you can stay ahead of the curve with metas and heroes and what you should really be doing with them. I think the main one really to highlight is just the absolute rise in Widowmaker being one of the top DPS options there. Now it's hard to say how much at this point she has risen by. She has definitely risen quite a bit, but specific numbers are hard to come by as stat websites like Winston's Lab haven't put out any reports yet, but she was definitely involved a lot more than usual. Specifically from the likes of Baby Bay of San Francisco Shock and Pine from New York Excelsior. Both of these players really popped off with this hero, as well as other DPS characters on other rosters. She's a hero that can confirm kills fairly quickly and easily. We all know this from Widowmaker now, and if you are pro and you have that skill, then by all means you should be playing her. And I think there is an element of, because there's a lack of Ryan or Orisa on some maps in particular, it's quite easy to break through shield thresholds because there isn't any, and get picks on maps like Dorado first point and Eichenwald second, just being on the high ground, having the open space, and just taking shots as if you're on a hunting trip. We did What's the Meta a few weeks ago going over things like Widow's pick rate, which has actually risen and was highlighted in that video, but I didn't really expect it to end up like this in the pro scene as well, and no doubt this will have a big effect on what people do in ranked. It's hard to say why specifically this is the case. I mean, Widow has had buffs recently, meaning that her mind now allows you to see through walls. If you hit a target, you know what you've hit and where you've hit them, but also the cooldown on your rope to pull you into higher distances, which helps you get out of those tricky situations as well. You would have thought as well, with Mercy being as strong as she is currently, that Widow's usage would be somewhat inhibited by it because of the res mechanic, but apparently not. Maybe it's because it forces out a resurrect early in a fight. Mercy has to bring back the person you just killed as Widowmaker, meaning that you know they're going into a fight without a res, meaning that you can dedicate a few more resources to winning that fight. But that brings us on to the second area as well, and that is Mercy is still mega popular. Not a must pick by any stretch of the imagination, that's worth highlighting for sure, but she's still used a hell of a lot, and really it does look like the teams that run on Mercy versus the teams that don't have a huge advantage, and the ultimate especially is one of the strongest still in the game. Don't really want to get into discussion of whether she's OP or not, but you've got to look at it this way. She was picked a lot in this tournament, and it was one thing that people really wanted to highlight with the games that we saw. In terms of who else was healing, well, we saw Zenyatta picked up alongside most of the time. Very little Ana, Lucio a little bit for control and stuff like that, and Symmetra honestly not at all. Moira did have some good usage, which was quite good. Areas like Lijiang Control Center, those closed off spaces that we've spoken about in previous videos, work really well for Moira, and she has found herself being used quite a bit. Considering she's only really been out a month, I think that's going to rise week by week, honestly, in the pro scene, once pros work out where she's good and what she works well with. She's very good in a tightly squeezed area, and I think it's nice to see most supports, and honestly most DPS as well, being picked in these situations where it's dictated by the map. If it's a nice open area, then you see different styles of playing, different tactics and different hero picks than a tightly closed in area like Oasis University, that kind of thing. That brings us on to our final area, which I was very interested in seeing, and that was the rise of the Roadhog Orisa combo. It's exciting to see two tanks that really haven't worked together at all synergizing so well, with Orisa becoming a really strong prominent main tank as well. It was a strategy picked up by a few teams, but more notably Dallas Fuel in bizarre fashion, with Mickey playing the Orisa, and it confused a lot of people who weren't sure what was going on. But it's very good at sitting on a point and holding it down, just been very difficult to move. It deals with Junkrats to an extent, but it also helps protect your front line a little bit, and it's just a very strong deathball-y team. And it's good to see Roadhog come in from this pick rate where he was essentially not used at all or was a troll pick, to now being a prominent tank like he used to be, and strong in different areas than he was back then. It works very similarly to how Moira does as well. Really good in those closed off areas, was used a lot in likes of Oasis for example, and I think it's just a nice interesting strategy that's a little bit more different to the dive tanks that you typically see. We did see them quite a lot, Winston and D.Va being played quite a bit, alongside the Widowmakers and the Traces, not so much Genji, but he was used quite a bit. But we'll have to get numbers on what particular heroes have dropped in pick rate ever since when they come out and when they are revealed, I suppose. But certainly heroes like Reinhardt and Zarya for the tanks were used a bit, but not an awful lot in comparison to the other tanks. But more importantly, all of them were used in some extent, and some of them were really strong in certain areas. Zarya on Control Center is a really good highlight of that, and Effect is actually crazy playing Zarya, so that's worth highlighting for Dallas Fuel. But going back to Roadhog Orisa to finish on, I really like it. It's something that I really wasn't expected to work as well as it did, and certainly see the combination of the Hulk hook combo. It's really fun to see, and I can't wait to see more of it, and seeing how teams actually deal with it, and seeing if it actually becomes a strategy in ranked. Who knows, in 2 months time I might absolutely hate it, but for now it's quite eyebrow raising, and I'm very keen to see more. But that's it for this time. Thank you very much for watching. 3 things that I really want to highlight here: the rise in Widowmaker for sure. Mercy's still picked quite a bit, but not as much as before, but she's still an impactful hero in the game, especially when she has her ult ready. And the Roadhog Orisa combo that took a lot of people by surprise, left us scratching our heads, but seemed to work quite well, and we will most likely be seeing a little bit more of it. We will do a video when there's more information, more stats on what heroes were picked quite a lot, seeing where Mercy truly lies, and also seeing how much Widowmaker rose by. But let me know what you think of this information, whether you watch the Overwatch League. I'm so excited to see it come to fruition. It's been a long time coming, and we are finally at the start of it, and it's going to be pretty exciting. Until next time, take care. We'll see you then.